Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Our Christmas edition, we thought it'd be very cool if we, instead of having one question, we thought we would fill this episode with just as many questions as we can answer as humanly possible. We have a list of them here, and then Dean has supplied us with a backup list over here.
Come on now.
And we'll try and get to each and every one of these. So Darren wants to know if we were fishing for our lives.
Wow.
What lure and rod setup
That's a good one.
would we want? I'll forage around every day, and I will dig up enough worms. I'll dig up enough June bugs. I'll dig it up enough whatever.
Lead acid. And I always demand lead acid. I said, no, I am gonna buy a couple of lithium. So I went and bought a couple of lithium. I looked into all the companies and found one from Canada. Because if you're buying some of these Chinese batteries, you need to be really careful. There's some that are out there that are not real good.
Obviously, when they put the town there, nobody realized that. They must have started building, I don't know, cabins and said, hey, Mark, there seems to be an awful lot of bears coming through here once a year. I wonder what that's all about. They'll probably be gone next year.
Yeah. Normally,
did I tell you I ate the other night?
Saber-tooth kitten. Just listen to the podcast.
Is there anything else you can screw up this morning, Dean? This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures. Ho, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Christmas edition of the Outdoor Journal Radio Show. He is Santa Peter. I'm Santa Angelo.
Oh, Merry Christmas,
and,
everybody.
All of the crew, which hopefully we'll get to speak to a little later on in the program. What a special time of year for us. We have no guests. We have each other. And
now
was that because nobody would come on the show, or we just didn't bother getting anybody?
We didn't want anyone to be here. This is a special moment for us.
We didn't want to waste it, right?
Special moment. We can't mar that special moment with special people, right?
I have to tell you something. I mean, every episode, we are like those little Chihuahua dogs that people dress up, right? We're told what to wear, what not to wear. And then some of them are ridiculous like they are today, but...
God, I saw them doing that to a pit bull on the internet yesterday.
Well, I was going to say, I feel sometimes like those little Chihuahuas, because they're the ones who get dressed up all the time, where the owners put on, all kinds of frilly stuff. And you can clearly see in the dog's eyes, my daughter has a Chihuahua, as you know.
Yes.
And she insists on dressing this thing up. Now, I don't have a love for this dog anyways, but I got to tell you, I feel so bad. Every time she brings him over and he's got a new outfit. And my daughter says, oh, Dad, look at
so cute.
Isn't he cute? I look at the dog, and the dog looks at me, and I swear to God, I hear the dog saying, don't you say a f***ing word, okay? This is not my idea.
Yes, that's the only time you feel good for the dog.
Animal.
I know. I don't get that. I know when my lovely wife, who is awesome with her dog, she bought the dog. It's her buddy and all that. But even when she puts the wrong colored collar on, when there's something stupid, I say, "What are you doing to this dog?
You're embarrassing him.
What are you doing? He's a big beast. He's 80 pounds, a bone crushing machine, and you're putting that shit on him." So I get you. I get you 100%.
You know they don't want to.
They don't want that.
However, having said that, I think we look pretty snazzy. I think we.
Yeah, for
in our
day.
Christmas
we did it
outfit.
Ourselves, right? Nobody made us do it. And
I just feel like a Chihuahua when I put it on.
You feel sorry for that dude. What's his name?
Oh, great question, man.
Wow, you don't know. It's not like a Chihuahua's Mexican. Is it a Mexican name?
Yeah, no, it's
Jose.
Let's say Snoopy, or no, it's not Snoopy. Or
not Sparky.
My daughter's gonna hate me for not knowing the dog's name.
I know. I've heard it too.
You've heard it too.
Yeah. Is it like they've had it for a while, right?
Yeah. Anyways, we'll
Sparky.
no, but it's like that. It starts with an S. If
Skipper.
Nick was here, he
Skipper.
would be able to tell us, obviously.
Yes.
So,
Nick's out dogging it too.
wow, they're very similar, you know. Anyways, our Christmas edition, we thought it'd be very cool if we, instead of having one question answered on the show from you, the wonderful. By the way, we are thankful for each and every one of you making another great year for us. Thank you very much. We appreciate your. I don't know whether it's your loyalty or stupidity, but regardless, you've hung in there for yet another year with us, and we do appreciate it.
Give me a hell yeah!
They're loyally stupid or stupidly loyal.
There you
Which
go.
one is it?
I'm not sure. So we thought we would fill this episode with just as many questions as we can answer as humanly possible. We have a list of them here, and then Dean has supplied us with a backup list over here.
Come on now.
And we'll try and get to each and every one of you. So wanted to make sure that we do remind you that we are very appreciative of the time that you spend with us.
Absolutely.
Each and
Come
every
on
week.
now.
Thank you.
They spend more with us than we spend with us.
Yeah,
I don't listen to our podcast as much as they listen to our podcast.
It's a
I'm
bunch of
falling off.
bullshit.
I do. No, it's not. I've fallen off the trail a little bit, and I'm not
come?
caught up. I don't know. I think it's my podcast listening. A lot of my podcast listening is in the gym,
Right.
and I found that I can't concentrate in the gym on the podcast.
Wow.
Because I'll say, I got to do 12 reps of this, and I want to make sure I get some good form, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I say, what the hell did they say? And so now I'm just putting on some music, and I work out to music, which is easier. And then the podcasts are more like in a truck when I'm going fishing or something like that. I got a 2-hour drive to wherever. It's nice then. But so it's not often. And I don't just listen to them at home or anything like that. You know what I mean? So
I do.
do you?
On the treadmill, I'll often
Okay,
do
treadmill,
that.
yeah. Treadmill,
I'll often do that, or if I'm just hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, the treadmill, I could see that. would work.
Yeah. Aside from the treadmill, though, I can't listen to a podcast and do something. For example, I do a lot of cooking, as you know.
Yeah.
That's
You
when
would
I
think-
listen to them.
Right?
Do you?
Do you?
Yeah, that's when I listen to all mine.
Okay, so you would think that during
should,
preparation
yeah.
of a meal, which takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, you would think that'd be a perfect place. But much like
I've
you,
seen
much
you
like
prepare
you,
meals here.
much like you, I can't focus and concentrate.
Yeah. You lose little parts. You hear bits of it, and then all of a sudden you've lost. Shit, what were yeah.
Next thing you know, I got turnip where the parsley
Exactly.
should be, and
Your
just a
onions are
mess.
burned.
Oh,
and
it's just a mess.
I hate
It's just a
that.
mess. That's why sometimes I wish I had a commute to work for a couple of hours every day, because I would consume
you don't want
podcasts.
that, buddy. You do not want that.
Trust me, you don't want that.
That is not a good thing. I poor pity anybody that's got that every day.
By the way, a big shout out to the designer of this set today. Wow, it looks like
Give me a hell yeah!
we're in the
Getting
North
very
Pole,
Christmassy,
man.
eh? It's
We're
very
in the North
I think
Pole.
I saw the guy who did that.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah, I
Well, give
saw
him
him
a big
around.
hand for
Yeah.
me.
High five.
A big attaboy.
Attaboy.
Come on now.
There you go. So before we get to that and talking about garb and all kinds of interesting clothing items, if you have not been to the shop, that's shop. Where are we? What's our shop?
.fishingcanada.com.
Thank you very much. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can get all of your. There is, I believe,
Uh-oh.
I could be wrong, but I think today is the first day for a special new item. A new custom Fishing Canada hat.
Oh, that one that came in the room the other day?
That's
The Nick was
correct.
all
That
pumped
trucker
about.
cap?
I
with
think
the
that goes on
mesh
sale
back?
today,
Wow.
if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So,
It's a pretty slick looking hat.
do we talk about it for a second?
I
guess
think
we
we showed it, didn't we, on a
Yeah,
previous
we-
podcast? When they
did we?
came in, we said we were all
No.
excited about
With-
it.
That's
Wh-
in the future.
Oh,
That's a
that
future
that
thing.
episode's in the future. That's why
Yeah.
I say I think it's coming out today.
I'm like Kresgen. I can always see
You-
I'm
do you
seeing
re-
the future. Kresgen.
the
Remember
Kresgen?
Kresgen?
Oh, my
that was a great show. The amazing Kresgen.
Karnak is the one that comes to
Karnak.
mind.
That was
Karnak,
Johnny Carson. Yeah. That was really good.
Anyways,
That was funny shit.
We do have a limited special edition Fishing Canada cap that's in the Fishing Canada colors, and it's totally different than the one that we've had on the market for a number of years.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure in terms of how limited it is, but I can tell you right now, based on the information that I got, right now it's pretty limited.
Come on now.
So go and check it out. I don't know whether
Is
it's
it the one that we...
with the signatures on it.
These are autographed,
Yeah.
like personally
Yeah.
autographed
Yeah.
Fishing Canada
So,
caps
very cool.
in special color, and
very cool.
and we do. It's not printed on there. We sign these. We are literally
Every one of them.
Yep. Wow. Cool.
Come on now.
Fishing Canada is currently embarking on its 39th broadcast season, which airs in a couple of weeks, January. I think it's the 8th of January.
The 4th.
The 4th. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate that. 4th of January will be the first episode of the 39th season of the Fishing Canada show. So you don't want to miss that. Some exciting,
Got some good shows.
great shows.
We just did a podcast. What number podcast is that, Dean?
but
that we
that's
just,
coming up.
That is coming up. That is
That's
the
what I
New
said.
Year's
We just
show.
did a Kreskin podcast about all the shows coming up. And that's what I'm saying. If you listen to that podcast when it releases, you don't even have to watch the shows. Piss on it. You just listen to the
Dean,
podcast.
Is there anything else he can screw up this morning, Dean?
Yeah, we have a couple other shows he could talk about.
Okay,
Okay, what do we got
Yeah.
that I've already done? Like, it's no different than the Fishing Canada show. We shot it about 3 months ago, and I forgot about it. And
Oh, my God, you're
you
killing
see,
me.
that's the problem with being too efficient. We're too efficient around here, and I'm not a good efficient guy. I'm
Now
a
they know
fishing
all
guy.
the Hollywood magic we do with these podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Being ahead of the game. Hey, all of our other podcasters, you need to listen to this, guys. We want stuff ahead of time. You know, let's get them all recorded up quick and be 2 ahead at least.
are you all excited about the Christmas party tonight?
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, I knew
Well,
you
can
would be.
can we talk about that? I don't know
Sure
when this
we
is.
can.
So
This-
people-
absolutely.
It happened. Okay, so
Absolutely.
it's tonight. We're on our recording,
That's-
but not on our
Exactly.
releasing. I gotcha.
Exactly.
I had a real badass hangover after this one. After tonight, everybody, just to let you know, I was not in good shape tomorrow.
Anyways, as you could tell, it's the festive season here at
We're gonna do some
Pine
guitars.
Post
tonight?
Productions. I think we should. I haven't
Should I-
touched mine.
should I
I'll
bring
be
mine?
honest with you. I have not touched the guitar since March of last year.
Holy shite! Well, maybe we shouldn't. then.
Exactly.
You're our anchor man. You're the kind of the
Exactly, since
What do you
March.
call what's your guy there? Party Marty. You're our Party
Party
Marty.
Marty.
Party Angelo.
Party Marty. I love that guy. I wish I could be him. Just think about it.
I watched him the other day.
Did you?
I
What-
never watch him.
Yeah,
but I
and
watched him.
What were you going after?
I was looking Rooster by Alice in Chains. Is it Alice in Chains?
Yep,
Did he
Alice
have
in
it?
Chains.
He had it.
He had that.
Some bitch had it.
He's got everything.
He had it, and he had it down nice and easy. You know, he had the
Three chords.
right
Three
chord.
chords. 4 max.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah. Start. It's a
But
G.
there was some notes. Down, 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 down.
Yeah,
He did
yeah.
that kind of stuff in there too. So he did a good job of it.
I
Yeah.
love him,
And he
man.
played it in the proper key.
Yeah. I would love to be him.
F
When I
sharp.
grow up, I want to be Party Marty.
Yeah.
Think about it. Your guitar, you can go anywhere you want, and within 10 minutes,
Have
got
you
the
ever
audience.
heard him play anything but that stuff? Like, you've ever heard him rip or anything like that? Have you ever seen his true talent? I wonder. The guy's probably wicked good. Or he could. Maybe he's not. You
I
never
don't know.
You never know,
That's
right?
a great question. I don't know whether he is or not, or whether this is his level. I mean, first of all, he's a true talent. I don't care what
Yeah,
anybody says.
he's a
because
great teacher.
Yeah, he can take a tune, he can dumb it down, and it sounds like the real deal.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yeah.
he's using 3 or 4 chords. He's gone as high as 5 chords one time. Like he was
How
way
dare
over
you,
his head.
Marty? How
Yeah.
dare you?
But he makes them sound real. He
Yeah.
just does a really good job.
He did a
of,
good job in this one.
Why
so
are
I
we
have to say.
promoting Party Marty? I'm sure he doesn't say, "Hey, those guys on Outdoor Journal radio podcast, you should
There
listen."
you go,
to
He
Marty.
listens
You
for
have
sure.
a huge fan with Angelo Viola, Marty, so you might want to pay him a
Should get him
compliment
on.
or two, just to let you know he's all about you.
And Vegas Matt too. I just want you to know that I'm a huge fan.
He
So,
watches too.
Yeah,
He watches, too.
I might as well just throw all that stuff out there.
I kind of like Alex Terrible.
Who? Who the hell's that?
Alex Terrible. It's just don't worry about him.
In the event that you don't know where season 39 will be premiering on the 4th of January, let me just take a moment to let you know. Obviously, Global Television Network in Canada, coast to coast to coast, 8 a.m. in its regular spot, has been there for 39 years.
Come on now.
Come on now.
That will be the main broadcast. That's on a Saturday. And then immediately following that, you can enjoy the telecast on Sportsman Channel, on WFN, on YouTube,
Come on now.
At that point, it just goes.
Did we not deviate off the path of 8 a.m. on Saturdays, or have we always been 8 a.m.?
CBC for 5 years, from 1989 or 88, 89.
Yeah, I know that, but on Global, we were always 8 a.m. on Global? Always?
Yeah, always.
Okay,
That's
cool.
been in stone.
And our number.
Even when it was...
They should be paying us.
Tell me about it. I go through this every year with them.
Jeez.
Even when it was a block, right? We had a block for the longest time. It would start at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday mornings and end about 11, if I'm not mistaken. We're all the fishing shows.
Yeah, everybody sat down with their coffees and let's go, right?
Speaking of which, excuse me.
There you go. Yeah, and then the YouTubes, of course, everybody can get it on YouTube. I mean, that's the easiest way. If you can't get it on any of your channels, if you don't have TV anymore, cable TV anymore, which some people don't.
Now.
You know what I mean? There is that. You don't have your specialty networks, then you can get it on YouTube on the Monday following the Saturday. So there you go.
All available starting it's available now, but it's in reruns. And you guys say, come and send reruns still. Well, because that's just the nature of the beast, right? You have to we have to leverage the asset, as it's called in the business. Leveraging the asset called reruns. That's
the number of the beast.
That's
we should have music references through this whole show.
That's how we pay for these lovely costumes.
I love these guys.
Come on now.
Speaking of listener feedback, were we talking about listener feedback? I believe we were. Were we not?
Yes, we were, as we always do.
Brought to you by FishfinderMounts.com.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
FishfinderMounts.com. What a wonderful experience this year has been with those folks.
Who's it from?
FishfinderMounts.com.
Give me a hell yeah.
Such an idiot.
If you require anything in terms of a fastening device,
Hey, they've changed their website too.
No way.
Yes, sir.
It's really nice.
It's
now.
looking good. I know. Dean and I found it yesterday or whatever. It looks pretty good. Yeah, they've done a nice job cleaning it up. There's still, there's so many SKUs, as you would call them, SKUs in there. But yeah, it's getting a lot better. Yeah, looking good. Looking good.
Wow. I got to go check it out
Nice, yeah. So there you go.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have checked it out before we
Well, you reminded me as we started talking
because this segment is brought to you by FishfinderMounts.com.
It's like after the third time you said it, I said, "Oh, wait a second." It takes me a while, like the previous episodes that I've been blowing so far here. Just like that. I need, once I get onto something, I'm good.
If there was one weak spot in FishfinderMounts.com,
it'd be Pete Bowman promoting them because
if
I'm not real good.
there was one weak spot,
Look at this.
would have been their website.
Look.
Not anymore.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Pretty good, eh?
Holy moly, boys. I got to have to reach out to the boys and
Hey, wait.
congrats.
Where's the Fishing Canada in affiliation with Fishing? Oh, okay. We have to talk to them a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's not there?
I don't see it
coming.
in there. It's coming.
Coming.
Look at that. Look at that stuff.
Oh,
it is nice stuff, folks. I'm telling you.
That one there? Oh my God.
New for 25. We don't even have that one yet.
No,
we don't even have that one yet.
No.
That's Gen 4.
Yeah, with the new new
Yeah,
locking device.
baby. We do have that. Okay. This is all nice stuff, folks. We've been experimenting and working with the peoples there. And what the hell?
It'll come back. You'll understand in a second.
Yes.
All right.
Anyways, listener feedback. John Jackson. I love that.
John
How
Jackson.
you doing?
Hi, everybody. I'm John Jackson. There's the musician's name right there.
From Ontario via email.
Joe Jackson. Remember
Now, does this...
Michael Jackson? I'm thinking of all the
You're not
musicians.
going to quit, are you? You're just going to keep
Jackson
throwing them
guitars. I'm thinking of all the musical names with Jackson here. So,
Dean, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is via email, but is there a YouTube bonus, something?
No, this is listener feedback. You're thinking of the fan question.
see, now you're starting to blow it now.
This is
There's
listener
no fan
feedback.
question because we're doing a lot of questions. I didn't want us to go broke.
Okay.
So I instead sponsored the listener feedback
Yes.
and moved the question period without a sponsor and without reward.
Well, is that fair? I mean, I think, like, I would have
No,
thought
it's the
you would've-
Christmas spirit. They're giving to us. Okay, we
They're
don't
giving
have
us with no expected return.
Yeah, but no expected return.
Well, I would. Okay, it's fine. You make that decision. That's good. But if I'm a loyal listener of the show, I'm saying, hey, wait a minute. If there's any time that you should give me a bonus or a present, would be Christmas.
We're going to give them
We're giving them a full episode.
We're going to give them one later on.
All right. Okay. I'm just saying. Hey, listen. John Jackson from Ontario via email writes in, hi, y'all. I love that. Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all. Love the podcast and have listened to every single episode, unlike you, by the way.
John, you're a better man than me, that's for sure.
Early on in the show, you guys did an episode or two about your adventures filming your other show, Outdoor Journal Television. That's what that is. Could you get an occasional story about your experiences doing this show? I'm sure there's plenty of funny, scary, amazing moments you've had, and I, for one, would love to hear more about it from time to time. I agree with you. Now. I agree with you.
You know what?
Do we not?
We should try and throw one in every podcast. Maybe that'd be nice to do. You know?
I'm in. We certainly have enough.
For the new year, yeah.
You know, we got thousands of them.
Do we not have them on YouTube, Dean?
We've rolled out one season, I believe.
Oh,
yeah.
So if John hasn't seen that,
the polar bear one is on there.
Yeah,
it's a cool.
Polar bear, that was a good one.
That was a cool one.
What a great story that is.
Those things are huge. That bus is a massive bus with the biggest tires you've ever seen in your life. Those things when they stand up, they put their heads right in the window.
Right in the window.
That's like how big a polar bear is. It's scary.
But we do have a ton of stories, and the one with the polar bear, I think we've said it before. But might as well. Took the time to put the polar bear up there. This was in Churchill, Ontario.
Churchill, Manitoba.
Manitoba. There is a Churchill, Ontario, by the way.
Is there?
I found out.
There's a Churchill cigar too.
And there is that too.
Yes.
And Winston Churchill was involved in some kind of a.
That's where they got the name for that cigar, by the way.
War. Was it?
Yeah, Churchill used to smoke the cigars. Remember, he used to smoke cigars.
Okay, so was there a Churchill cigar before there was a Churchill, or was Churchill first and then they invented a cigar? That's the question. If he was smoking cigars, he couldn't have been smoking a Churchill cigar.
They might have named it after him. They built one and said, hey, you know what? If you were smoking these cigars, let's build this beautiful long stick, and we're going to name it after you, maybe. I don't know, but I just know that there's an association
And
there.
Churchill, let me see if I get this right. Churchill is the length of the cigar, is it not? Is it a type of length?
It's length and width. All cigars are robusto.
Big and thick or short and
exactly.
thin.
There's Maduro wraps and there's Connecticut wraps, which are totally different. But then when you have the name of the cigar, the Toro size.
Oh, you know a lot about
size,
cigars.
Esplendido. There's all kinds of.
Would you take this for a puff?
What?
I said you know a lot about cigars.
I take you for a puff. But trust me, if I saw you anywhere, I say, there's a puff right there. There's no doubt about that.
Where were we? Oh, anyways, Churchill, Manitoba, where it was minus 52 degrees for 7 days straight.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
The wind chill factor when we shot this show
as you can see, it's windy.
Yeah. Your skin, if I remember correctly, exposed skin, unprotected, uncovered skin had, I think, 10 seconds before frostbite. Right? You remember that?
I remember because we had the gloves off.
We had to wear coverings and the whole bit. It was crazy. What a great show, though, that was. We went to Polar Bear Jail. I don't even know whether it exists anymore because...
I bet you it does. There's got to be. I mean, Churchill, the town of Churchill is still there. Polar bears still exist, unless they got rid of all the polar bears. I don't think they did.
Well, I think it might have happened organically because of global warming.
Yeah.
Maybe the bears. See what happened.
Oh, it's up there still.
Just as an FYI, what happened with Churchill, it was put in the direct path of the migration route for every single polar bear that lives in that part of the world. So once a year, when the ice is forming on the ocean, every polar bear, and I've forgotten the actual numbers, but every polar bear within, let's call it 1,000 miles, just for the sake of argument. I don't know that to be true, but every polar bear within a certain geographical area would have to migrate to exactly the heart of Churchill, the town of Churchill, in order to access the ice flows. And obviously when they put the town there, nobody realized that. They must have started building, I don't know, cabins and said, hey, Martha, there seems to be an awful lot of bears coming through here once a year. I wonder what that's all about. They'll probably be gone next year, Henry.
Yeah,
Right?
We got Lots of bear poop around here. What's going on
Obviously,
here?
that didn't happen because from that point on, every year the inhabitants of Churchill realized, we may have built this in the wrong place. So I think it was in the early 80s, they actually had to build a compound where they would take these bears that would come through. Of course, once the bears are migrating through town, they discover all kinds of cool stuff, including people and food and all kinds of stuff. So they tended to linger.
Yeah, they're inquisitive, right?
Right.
They're not necessarily going to kill everything.
No.
But they're just going to check things out.
Although
check
there's
it.
been a few encounters.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
So the bears started hanging out to the point where somebody had to say, hey, we got to do something about this. And maybe what we need to do is start relocating these bears. And
Bet you they thought at first of shooting them, right? I bet they had to.
they
We gotta
probably
kill
did.
them. Yeah.
And they probably did, right?
They
But then
gotta get rid of this
somebody,
bear.
jumped in and said, we can't do that. So how about if we relocate them? So they had this program where they would fly in helicopters and they would tranquilize these bears and they would pick them up and airlift them to, if that geographical area I just said was 1,000 miles, they would move them 500 miles away, figuring, okay, this will be fine, close enough. Boom, drop them there, they'll be good. Well, lo and behold, these bears were coming back. And because they had no option, this was their route. They couldn't just up and change. So consequently, they discovered that they needed to be a little more assertive than that, short of dispatching the bears. So they built what became known as Polar Bear Jail. And they would take, and they still might be doing it to this day.
Yeah,
They
it's
would
still there.
Still there, is it?
Yep.
So they would take delinquent bears who had been relocated 3 times. So on the 4th time that these bears would come back, they'd go to jail. And they would spend the rest of the term, and that term is, because what the bears do, they don't know that the ice has formed. They just instinctively know it's a time of year where we have to migrate towards the ice because sooner or later it's going to be formed. We can go out on the ice and we can feed for the next 90 days on seal, right? So what Polar Bear Jail was a place to keep these really delinquent bears because a lot of them did not come back. They would find another route somehow. But the ones that would come back 3 times, they would actually go to jail for 90 days until the ice formed. And then they would release them and they'd rush out to the ice and not to be seen for another 8 months, which was kind of a bizarre. The whole thing is the story. I mean, I'm telling the story. It almost sounds like a fairy tale, but it's the truth. And it happens
in jail,
every year.
And in the jail, they fed them seal meat.
Yes.
They did feed them in there. They weren't like, oh my God, we're going to wait, and then they'll run away and get the seals. No, they fed them seal meat. And that created another problem in that bears outside would smell that seal meat and think, hey, check it. We got to go find out where that's coming from, right? So
they curbed that feeding. The year that we were there, they were on, I think, year 2, where they were trying to not have that happen. And so I won't say the bears were being starved. They were fed, but very limited, and it was
tofu.
I don't know what it was, but they were trying to curb them of the seal meat and to try and avoid the other bears outside the jail from wanting to get into jail. So anyways, then the do-gooders, God bless you if you're a do-gooder.
A tree hugger. We love when you hug trees.
Absolutely.
They look so nice.
Every tree needs a hug every now and then, okay? I don't care what you say.
Just like a human, right?
Exactly.
We need hugs, and trees need hugging too.
And so they would, these tree huggers got wind of that, and once they found out that the bears were being, not starved, but, cut back in their normal intake, which, by the way, bears are used to it anyways, because they can go weeks, if not months, without consuming protein, but regardless. Anyways, there was a big uproar and protests and all that stuff in front of Polar Bear Jail. And in fact, when we got there, the day we got there, the compound known as Polar Bear Jail was surrounded with folks who were up there protesting and had placards and signs and all that stuff.
I love those protesters. They hug their signs too. When they have
hug
a real tree, they just use the stick of their sign and they hug that.
So anyways, that's just one tiny little story from that shoot. There were so many adventures that happened in that period of time that we were there. that we'll continue dialoguing on them as time goes by. But that's just one little tidbit of polar bear jail.
Look at you, eh? Look at you, a polar bear expert.
I've been known. I hugged a polar bear. Speaking of hugging, remember we had to airlift a couple of little cubs with Mom.
They were so cute, man.
Oh my
They were
God!
so damn cute.
Yeah, Pete and I had the privilege of actually working with the Polar Bear Patrol Unit, which is basically like, I don't know, any other police enforcement agency. They're sitting around waiting for the call to come in, and then they would dispatch their trucks and people and go out and take care of business. We were fortunate enough to be riding in the back of one of those vehicles a couple of the nights. That
Yeah, it was
we were
very
there.
cool. And they tranquilize in the cubs sense. They tranquilize the mother. They don't tranquilize the cubs because they're docile and they'll just stay with mom when she's sleeping or whatever like that. And it's pretty amazing to see that. Mom would go absolutely apeshit if you didn't tranquilize her and try to get near the cubs. But when they tranquilize the mommy and they put it, it's all sleepy, and then the little cubs are just looking cute as hell, looking at you and, hey, mister, what are you doing here? It was
What are you doing to
pretty
my
cool.
mom?
Yeah, mom's sleeping. Can you leave us alone?
It was fantastic. Great episode. And you say that's on YouTube right now, Dean?
That one's up there, yep, on the Fishing Canada YouTube channel.
On Fishing Canada YouTube channel. They can go there right now. What do they just look up polar bears?
Yeah,
or?
it'll come up. Yep.
What do you mean it'll come up? Like, it doesn't just come up.
It knows. It'll find it for you.
Oh, my God. All right.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
That is a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, that's a great question or great point, great comment.
Yeah,
We will
I think
endeavor
we'll try
to do it on a regular basis on the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Good stories.
What was your highlight from that shoot? Do you remember?
The highlight from that shoot, I mean, the low light was a highlight, wasn't that one got killed, right? So I guess that's probably, but just seeing these magnificent animals when we're in those buses, we went in those buses and just looking at them out there and they're play fighting and wrestling. These 1,000-pound bears are play fighting with each other in the snow in the worst weather that we'd ever encounter, and they're out there having fun, and they're just laying there, and then the mom and being in a snowbank with the two cubs laying there, and they're such a beautiful animal. They really are a beautiful animal.
It's hard to believe that they're so
such a beast.
dangerous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, there's badass as a tiger or a lion or anything like that, you know what I mean? But they don't look it. They don't look the part.
Conservation Corner. Am I correct here, Dean? I'm seeing the notes. Conservation Corner brought to you by Asian Carp dot whatever they are.
.ca.
That's right.
Is this the last one of the grass carp?
Well,
Uh-oh. Are you screwing things up now?
You're a little bit ahead of
You just did
yourself.
Pete Bowman. You just, way to go, Pete.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
In the future,
In the future.
we will be doing a different ad read.
Oh, somewhere in the future we'll be doing that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we've recorded some of those, so you're just a little bit ahead of yourself.
In the meantime, I would like to inform folks
It's Christmas. What the hell, right?
that they can participate in a wonderful workshop that's happening in the Windsor area of Ontario at the Windsor Sportsman Club on the 28th of January. Coming up in a few weeks at from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Windsor Sportsman's Club in Windsor, and the good folks will be there from Invasive Species Centre with all kinds of interesting setups with Q&As and demonstrating stuff, and you can talk to folks, ask questions. More importantly, you can hear the scientists and the professionals talk about the need to be vigilant when it comes to grass carp.
Yeah, they're giving us, they're warning us of a possible bad thing in the future, but we can help do our part, right? Because it could happen. So, and as well, I believe, Dean, we were talking about this earlier. You might be able to watch this online as it's happening too. So
Yeah, last year they had a way you could check in online if you can't make it down to Windsor.
Windsor's a long ways away for us GTA people. So, but
we'll keep you posted on that.
we'll try and post something on our website maybe or something about the actual links, etc.
But then you'd miss out on the fun and
You
frolic.
can't win the
food.
You can't win the Yeti.
Food.
the
Yetis, you gotta
food.
be there
I'm
for
more
the
the
Yeti.
food and refreshments, which
Small
are included to get in. And then, as Pete said,
Homemade sandwiches.
if you go, you can actually win a Yeti
$400
backpack cooler, valued at $400. Yes.
valued at $400.
Yeah, you just don't like any foreplay, do you? You like to just get right to the point.
You know what? I'm foreplay.
At this point in your life, you figure
there's a point
Yeah.
when you're young. There's no foreplay.
Right.
When you're midway there, you're saying, look at me, ladies. Hello. There's foreplay, and then now it's just like, okay, let's get her done.
Get her did.
Get her done.
Because I would have dragged that out, that you could enjoy the complimentary food and refreshments, all the wonderful beverages and stuff that you could consume for going down and participating in this wonderful event on the 28th of January. And as an added bonus, you could win a Yeti backpack cooler. See,
You would have
notice
done
what
that,
I did there?
but-
Did you notice what I did there? I just kind of eased them in, and they said, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's more. But no, you want to throw the more in there up front, and then try and sell.
There might be a couple of people listening that have that's a bunch of bullshit button there, and they
Yeah,
just,
you're right.
and they might just say, "Shut up, let's get on with it."
Whether
show.
you're a seasoned angler or just starting out and passionate about protecting Canadian Great Lakes and other wild places, you need to make yourself aware of what's going on, and that's the perfect place to do it. Mark the calendar, January 28th of 2025, coming up in a couple of weeks, 6 to 9 p.m., Windsor Sportsman Club. Be there. And Dean, I understand you will be there, is that correct?
I'll be there. Yeah, you can come meet me if you want.
Oh, perfect. And who would not want?
Yeah.
Right now, looking at you with that wonderful outfit you have on, how did you escape wearing the full Monty? By
I
the
haven't
way?
got mine yet. I've been here a while now. I haven't got mine.
All right.
Yeah, I think maybe our wardrobe department could take note of that. And,
Yeah. I think
and we'll load up at least Dean. Nick, we don't have to because he's rarely here. We'll get him half a jacket because he's here half the time.
Vova.
And then Vova. Well, Vova doesn't like to be on camera, right?
Oh, that's going to change in the new year.
Yeah, this time next year.
That's
It'll
right.
be all over camera.
And we got
Give
some
us a
guys-
hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
In the news, scientists find a 35,000.
Check it. That's the state it was in when they found it.
Wow.
It's crazy.
35,000-year-old saber-tooth kitten in the Siberian permafrost. Mr. Bowman.
It's insane. The researchers found the mummy of the 35,000-year-old saber-tooth cub in what is now Russia's northeastern Sakha Republic. Known as the Yakutia.
You've been studying this, haven't you?
Vova would understand all these
Vova would
words
know.
for sure. He would. A study published in this past week in the journal Scientific Reports shows that the cat was just 3 weeks old when it died. This little guy right here, 3 weeks old kitten, saber-toothed tiger, right? I'm assuming, is it a saber-toothed tiger or
Yeah.
a saber?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a saber-toothed lion, or is there? Maybe there was.
I don't know.
There is a
It might have
lion
been.
that looks like a saber-toothed tiger, by the way.
The cause of death was unknown. They can't figure
There's
out
also
why
a
it died.
wolf that looks like a saber-tooth. All the animals back
That's pretty
then
damn
looked
cool
like
to be what ice and freezing can do. You know what I mean? Like, look at that.
Did
Normally,
I tell you I ate the other night
saber-toothed kitten?
a chunk of meat
A cat meat?
that I
Yeah.
froze at least 6 years ago?
Siberian. What do you call it? Siberian cat? No.
And I ate it. I consumed it the other night.
You did tell me about this.
Is it dry?
And it was, no.
It's good.
Dean, it was the most succulent. Now, it was great quality going in. So obviously, if you start with good quality meat, it was so good. But just talking about, how you can preserve things for, in this case, 35,000 years. I preserved a chunk of meat for 6 years.
I ate a turkey breast out of mine that was like half a turkey breast that was like 4 years old, and it was the driest thing I've ever eaten.
Oh,
in my
well,
life.
you didn't do a very good
I
job.
didn't do a good job.
No,
It's my
see,
fault.
It's all in your vacuum sealing and vacuum
Yeah.
packing, right? That has to be so airtight,
Yeah, it's gotta be
perfectly
perfect.
airtight, sealed perfect, and then you can go because you have moisture sometimes when you're doing this vac sealing and all that stuff. You gotta, if you do a great job of vac sealing, which you did on that one, obviously,
I
because
didn't.
otherwise,
I wish I could take credit for it, but the good people, my good friend Sean Kelly,
he did the job.
did
right?
the
vac sealing.
vac sealing,
And that's
I
it.
gotta
On
tell
a
you,
professional machine does that because the ones we buy nowadays are good, but they're not like that. So
I
wow.
haven't talked to Sean for a while, but we've been trying to.
You told me that you were trying to get him the other day or
I
something
know.
like that. You
I
got a
still, I've said back, and he sends back. We just don't connect.
wow.
Yeah, we're destined to be two ships in the night.
Beautiful.
Pirate ships. I can see
Well,
you
in
guys
Sean's
doing pirate
case,
ships.
it'd be a pirate ship for sure.
For sure. Davy Jones. He'd be a Davy Jones for sure.
Interesting. So this story is on fishingcanada.com?
Yeah.
All right.
We had some poaching stories and stuff, but I thought we'd keep the mood up. For
That's
this.
that poaching story. We
That's not a
gotta.
Christmas
We have to
story.
talk about that poaching
It's
story at
nasty.
some time though in the future because that is that's a weird one. Hey, Dino,
Yeah.
that one is like whoa. Is that on our site now or no?
Next time we record, we're gonna talk about
Okay,
that. So.
you got
the
to
future.
tune in for this one, folks, because it's going to blow your mind as to you
Yeah.
want to talk about weird poaching stories. Woo! Oh, boy.
So just to finish this up, if you go there, you'll read all about it. But anyways, the sabertooths have been known to, and actually they have been confirmed to have lived in parts of Canada, Alberta.
Come
Canada.
on now.
Where was it that we did an Outdoor Journal episode in Western Canada?
Yeah.
And it's the
Yes.
hub for
Drumheller?
Drumheller. Thank you very much.
Wow, Dino.
It's the
Dinosaur hub,
the
right?
hub for North American paleontologists. They all dream of one day working there and going there. Well, we spent, I think, a week or so there digging around and messing around.
Is that the place where we walked up the mountain?
Walked up a mountain.
It was in Alberta. Frank's Slide. That's where
That's
it was.
Frank's Slide.
That
no.
wasn't the
no,
same area?
No,
Wasn't the same
It's
shoot?
actually Saskatchewan, is it not, Dean?
No, it's Alberta.
No, Alberta.
It's Alberta?
Yeah.
All right.
They have the hoodoos there or whatever, too. What's the in Alberta? Maybe it's Drumheller. I'm not sure. They have those formations made in the sand,
yeah.
whatever they are, whatever they're called. Hoodoos. I'm probably way off with
They
that
also
one.
have buffalo jumping off cliff there or something. It's called buffalo jump or something where
Yeah.
they used to
Like the
force
lemmings.
buffalo. Yeah. No. Well, they were being forced to
I
jump
know.
off.
It's kind
But
of
similar to
very
lemmings.
similar to the lemmings.
1,200-pound lemming. Anyways, it's all there. We're just making fun of this, but it's a wonderful story about radiocarbon dating of
35,000 years. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, now the main section of the show, brought to you by Sail.
Sail.
Sail is your home to all things outdoors, especially ice fishing, folks. Ice fishing, including rods, reels, tackle, outerwear, footwear, clothing. Listen, you can have as good a time fishing on hard water as you can on open water.
Yeah,
all you have to do is just
Have a
be
better time.
prepared for it. I know in your case a better time, although I don't understand that. But anyway,
Dino is a bit of a
That's cool.
psycho.
you just need to be well prepared. And in that
you know
case,
what? I will say that it has really advanced since you and I were young lads doing it. I mean, there's back in the day,
Lot of
just a twig, you tie your line to a twig. Nowadays, the rods, it's incredible the
Ice
array
fishing rods,
of ice fishing rods and for different, walleye rods, even the section of different size walleye rods. Then you got lake trout. It's insane. So it's neat to go into an ice fishing section in Sail and just say, just to see and absorb what they have there for the modern day angler. So
if you don't have a Sail store in your neighborhood, you can still access them. That's Sail, SAIL.ca. Sail.ca. Go in there and check it all
sir.
out. You can even get the discounts that are featured in the stores. You can get them online as well.
Come
up
on
to
now.
60% off on some items.
a lot of the items, by the way, are not available in store. You have to do it
Oh.
online. Oh yeah, there's some online only. A lot of that.
I found that recently. I found something that was not available in this, and I'm wondering why would that be? Why would you not make them available?
They probably don't have them there, right? They have them in a warehouse.
They have them in the
somewhere else.
warehouse and don't want to send them to the store, maybe for some reason. I don't know why.
Wouldn't you think that would be kind of?
Might be easier just to load her in a truck once and get her to the person versus load it in the truck there and then say, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I see. I believe in my heart of hearts, if it's not available in the store, you shouldn't be able to buy it.
Wow.
Well, that's
Well, I'll
coming
tell you
back
why.
now.
I'll
That's
tell
the
you
old
why.
Barclays in you.
Well,
though,
I'll
isn't it?
tell you why I say that, because then it's an unfair advantage to folks who shop online versus people who don't shop online. Like, why are you punishing people who don't shop online but not
maybe there's
making it available to them?
Maybe it's a very limited amount or very size oriented. Like we only have XXX left over, and they don't go on this. They don't sell very well in the stores. So we'll just
I'm
leave
talking
it on,
about pasta, corn pasta. Okay?
that one went pasta me like that.
I'm talking about corn pasta not being available at a store that is selling them online only. I do not understand that.
Is it a
I'm
big
very
store?
upset.
Is it a big
I'm very
store?
upset. It's a huge store.
Really?
I'm very upset.
Is it
at
an
them
independent
right
type
now.
of store? Or?
Oh, nothing independent about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? I am
trying to
very
throw-
upset at them right now, to the point where I may boycott them.
I doubt very much. I know you and the way you shop and that, and you're not boycotting them because of that. You're,
right.
you're gonna, you
I'm-
might find elsewhere to buy your corn pasta.
I'll
But
tell you one. I'm not boycotting Sale because they got the goods.
maybe they'll sell that pasta for
Well,
you.
I'm
And
going to call my
maybe
buddy.
those little packs, those little heater packs that you get, those little.
They got great. Have you seen some of their selection?
yeah,
of,
it's good.
If you've never
It's
tried,
not bad tasting. Eh?
No,
no.
we've tried. If you've never tried dehydrated, freeze dried, all of the different types of foods that are prepared for outback adventures where you cannot bring in size and weight. Some of the meals that are available now versus the days when you and I were doing that stuff, holy
Oh, they were
smokes.
nasty back in the day.
Oh,
Right? They weren't good.
they were used for emergency only. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. If you couldn't catch fish, bring out the hydrated stuff. But now they're actual gourmet meals that you
They're not bad.
rehydrate.
The ones we've tried are not bad at
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
So-
Anyways, all available at sale.ca. Your one-stop shop for all good things outdoors at sale.ca.
Come on now.
Okay,
Alrighty then.
let's get into the meat and potatoes. See the way I threw that? Food, rehydrate meat and potatoes. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's show, Mr. Bowman.
I like it. First question. This is the Q&A. These are a bunch of questions that have you, the great listeners of the Outdoor Journal Radio podcast,
Who we appreciate, by the way.
have sent forward to us, and we decided to do a little Q&A here. So we're going to go to our first question from Nick Tryon. Nick is a big fan. Nick is a fan of the Showza, so all of our network and the Fish in Canada show. And I know Nick is a fan of
How do you know all this?
a fan of muskie as well, because Nick's very active. He's
He went out with
Jamie Pistilli.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow.
A
got a
couple
big
of
muskie
times.
with
Nick
him.
and his wife, they went out, or girlfriend, I'm not sure, went out and they've got muskie almost every time, and more than once.
Maybe you shouldn't have said anything there. Have you ever think of that?
No, they're pretty solid, those two. You know what I mean? Nick will forgive me if something happened. I hope not, because she's a sweetheart too. So, but they're muskie addicts too. They love and they're hardcore. They go out there in that shit weather that we try to avoid for muskie. Next question: with the live scope / forward-facing sonar technology breaking new ground in the fishing industry, what piece of equipment was groundbreaking in the film industry back in the day?
Wow.
Good one.
Whoa.
That's a good question.
So, the
Groundbreaking.
first
Boy, I'll tell
real groundbreaking piece of equipment that I recall that we had to get into was something called a Betacam. And
Oh wow, yeah, I see what you're. I was thinking a little later than that too, but you're right.
But the very first one was
Yeah.
Betacam, and Betacam, what the beauty of Betacam was.
Wolf is laughing at us right now. I guarantee you.
I know. What's he know? He's
shit.
just a young puck. He's still wet behind the ears. For crying out loud. Anyways, Betacam was the transition that allowed us to go from 1 inch and or 3/4 inch tape. So
Literally, it was that thick.
Literally, that's how thick the tape was, and it was in a cassette. This
big ass
big,
cassette that you
right?
had to have in the field, bunches of them,
and you bring a box or two out in the field, which was like
heavy duty.
this big. So this was the first time that we really got into compact, ultralight gear, because from that day forward, we were dealing with little cassettes that were like this big and a 1/2 inch thick. So about 50% smaller and lighter than what we were used to. But the real tick on using Betacam at that point was the quality.
Yeah, the resolution, the quality was so much.
Oh my God, it
Yeah.
was breathtaking.
Yeah.
Compared to today,
Yeah,
it looks like
it's
somebody was
shite.
It was
Yeah.
absolute crap. But at the time, it was fantastic.
It'd
And
be like HD compared to 8K right now, sort of thing. 4K,
just a
8K,
huge
6K, something like that.
and the fact that it was a compact in that you had camera and recorder and battery for said camera and recorder all in one nice, tidy little package that weighed around 50 pounds complete. So That was a down. We
was-
really
yeah.
lost a lot of weight in
Yeah.
the equipment that we had.
Well,
to
that
travel
3/4
around.
inch, they had a pack for the.
Remember the BBU,
camera was one
BBU
thing, and
150?
Yeah, they had
with
a
the
pack.
cable.
Yeah, it
looked
was
like
crazy.
a Cobra. And
It
then
was
you had
insane.
the Anton Bauer battery
Oh my
belt.
God, those things were heavy as hell. The poor camera, like Toto, he had a workout every time he shot with us. Yeah. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. So that was really the first breakthrough. Obviously, the lenses, glass.
And then
as
it
we
kept
call
going
it,
like this. It's still progressing to this day because we went from Betacam
to
to
DVC Pro.
yeah, DVC Pro, which is a
DVC
tiny
Pro.
tape, little wee tape.
Yeah.
Like it's such a, and the quality wasn't a whole lot. It was better probably, but not a whole lot.
Well,
But it was just the size.
the big buzz there was that this was a hybrid.
DV
We
was
took
digital video.
front to an analog back, and they were able to downsize the package. And as Pete said, now the media itself, the tape was
A tenth of the size, maybe.
of the
yeah.
size, so that enabled us to get more inventory out in the field. We could shoot more, we could shoot
Yeah.
longer. It was lighter. You could pack it up, and the fact that we were now in the digital world was a huge thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Still tape, but
yeah, we
still
went
a tape, but
from the 3/4 inch and 1 inch cameras and lenses that were like this big to Betacam that was like this big to DVC Pro that was now like this big, and then the next evolution was full flat on digital,
Yeah.
Which was half the size of the DVC Pro.
I mean, now Vova is out shooting with us, and it's basically a DSLR camera. So look, if you look at the guys that take pictures with the nice cameras, that's what he's shooting our great video with. So that's the size of that, basically. So it's insane. How
So,
it's
Boba, when
progressed.
you say that you've had a long, hard day in the field holding a camera,
He doesn't even hold them. He puts them on fishfindermouse.com things.
exactly. Fishfindermouse.com holds the camera. Viva. Vova supervises the process. Okay?
That's a bunch of bullshit, right, Vova?
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Vova does his job. He does a good job.
That's just one of the items. It's probably the most important item. Obviously, underwater photography started
Yeah.
opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then immediately after that, drones became popular, and here we are today.
So very quickly, we'll shoot, like Vova shoot a lot of times, maybe all the time now, in 4K. So when you hear this 4K and you know your TV's not in 4K, and why we're not distributing it in 4K, why are you doing that? Well, 4K resolution is so good that now that Vova can take any section of that base video and crop in a little piece, that fits the TV size. He takes like a quarter of that 4K, and it still looks perfect, right? So you can do so much of this stuff nowadays. The resolution is insane.
A guy in the production world, in the film production world, once told me in a way that I fully understood this whole thing. Because you say, well, why it wasn't 4K, it was 2K I was talking about. I said, why are we, shooting 2K when the broadcasters are still at, basically 480 that they were pumping out? And he says, Angelo, here, let me see if I can simplify it. If you took two different quality of oats, and you fed them to a horse, and then you analyze what came out of the other end of the horse, which of the oats do you think would be yielding better product? The crappy oats, no pun intended, or the good quality oats? And then I understood it.
Wow.
I understood it. What goes in, the level of quality that goes in is directly proportioned to the level of quality that comes out.
We need a new soundbite. That's a bunch of horse shit.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
That's the way I fully understood that process.
That's good. Who did that to you? Who told you that? I gotta know.
His first name was Jeff.
Oh, so I wouldn't know.
No,
obviously.
he was
Okay.
with CTV
Okay.
/ TSN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Next question is from Darren Oleksiuk. Oleksiuk via Facebook. Oleksiuk.
Wow, that's good. Yeah. Sorry about that, Darren, if we get that wrong.
No, I think I did a good job on that one. Hey, Dean, would you say? Oleksiuk?
That seems right. Yeah.
Oh, look at Bo. Now he's waking up. Now
What is it, Bob? Is it good?
Oleksiuk.
Olek. How does that first part?
Olek.
Olek.
Yeah.
I think he's got it. I think he's got it.
Oleksiuk.
Very close. I think that's good enough. I think
I
Darren would have
think-
no problem with you just saying his name like that.
Darren wants to know. He says, Pete and Ange survival story. Oh, Pete, he wants a survival story. It's a steamy, hot July in the Canadian wilderness.
Okay, this is
steamy
good.
hot.
Steamy hot.
No
We've been
connection
there.
to what I said about the oats.
Been there, done that.
Steamy, hot July in Canadian wilderness, plagued by misfortune and poor decisions.
Oh, Pete's there. There'll be poor decisions. Don't trust me on that
Pete
one.
and Edge are stranded on an isolated northern island surrounded by endless fresh water, mosquitoes, and horseflies. That sounds like Quant's Lake.
Okay.
Hey? Was that Quant's Lake?
Very
maybe?
close.
All right.
We had Steve.
They
and
are
Wilva.
bruised and banged up,
Holy
but not beaten. They must fish to survive. However, only have one lure each. Which lure and rod setup would they want to have? Now, so our life depends on it. Now, this is not sport fishing anymore. This is sustenance fishing. So Darren wants to know, if we were fishing for our lives,
Wow.
what lure
Darren.
and rod setup
That's a good one.
would we want? Now, I'm assuming that everything is on the table, right? We can select whatever we absolutely want.
Yep. And we don't know. I mean, we're talking Canadian North, so there could be walleye, could be pike, could be smallmouth, could be whatever in there.
Let's assume that it's all of the above in terms of species.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit, that's a great question.
So here's I know. I don't want to go down this road because, well, I just don't like it. But I'm going to have to go down this road because I want to be as honest as to Darren.
We're
as we
roughing it
possibly.
right there.
That doesn't look like we're roughing much. Those boys haven't missed too many meals on
It looks
that
like
day,
we're
I'll
having a
tell you
bit of a tiff, is what it looks like to me.
that. Yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Piss off.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, let's be very, very honest. If we're fishing for sustenance and not for sport, and my life would depend on me being able to get a fish into the frying pan, I got to go with a drop shot and a chunk of something on it that is real. I mean, I know,
But if it gets pulled off, then you're going to have to go find more bait.
Well, no, but I that's why I said everything's on the table, and I've got an endless supply of live bait.
Okay.
Endless supply of live bait. And the only thing I want to do is catch fish for the frying pan. If I have to be honest, because it's the last thing I would use if I wasn't confronted with those circumstances. But if I'm confronted with those circumstances, a drop shot, only because it's the most effective way to get a hook into a fish, because you're setting straight up and there's no misunderstanding the hook set that's out 100 feet or 50 feet away from the boat, right? So I'm dropping it straight down. I got a chunk of something on it. And I could probably, see, with that hookup, I could probably forage for my own bait, whether it be worms, bugs, minnows. I could probably trap minnows, right? So really, when it comes right down to it, a little drop shot hook and a little drop shot weight on a rig that would handle that. So a spinning rig, 7-foot spinning rig with relatively light line, because I'm not looking to catch a trophy fish here. I'm looking to eat every day. So 6-pound, maybe 8-pound test line, fluorocarbon preferably, and that's it. And I'm in business. I'm going to feed myself for as long as I need to.
See, I'm going to go literal to him because he said which lure.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
I'm not. Okay, now
And
you're
rod
cheating.
setup.
You're
no,
cheating.
I'm not cheating. You cheated with the live bait bullshit.
There's a bunch of bullshit.
By the way, Darren, I'm going to have a drop shot set up too because I'm going to build a spear and I'm going to kill Ange right off the hop. And he's going to be gone, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. So now I got 2 rods and reels. So I
Right.
got Ange's rod and reel. Ange, you're going to die. I'm torn between 2. I'm torn between a tiny little crankbait or an inline spinner, a number 2 spinner. And I say that only. My lure is attached to a wire leader, too, by the way, because if I lose that lure, I'm dead. So I have to have a leader. So I can't break it off, right? So I have my lure tied to that leader, and the rod set up. I don't care. It'd be a spinning rod, 6 foot to 7 foot. Doesn't matter to me that way. I'd have line, braided line, and a steel leader to my little spinner or crankbait. And if I had to choose one of those two, that's the toughest one of them all. I'm going to have to say the spinner, although I hate to say the spinner because I love fishing crankbaits. But I'll say this little number 2 silver spinner.
Okay.
Inline.
All right. Well, I mean, we could do something here if so inclined. We could put this to the ultimate test on the upcoming season ahead.
I'm not going against live bait with a spinner.
Oh, well, you just said you would.
I got live bait. I killed you.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I got the stuff.
Yeah,
I got everything. I got 2 rods now in the
I
bag.
just want to clarify that, and I did already, but I just want to say it. This is a matter of life or death. I have to survive for, I don't know, 3 months.
There's a survivor right there.
Yeah, he knows
Joe
his
G.
lunch. When it's lunchtime, Joe survives because it doesn't matter whether it's 30 seconds.
You can throw a drop shot.
It doesn't matter what he's doing. He's out of here.
He's eating it.
Okay, he's the only one of the bunch who will survive, except when Darren and his friends come in the apocalypse and the Walking Dead people come. Then Joe won't survive.
Joe won't survive that.
No, he won't last that one at all. But he'll still get up and go to lunch 5 minutes before it's time. So.
You might as well have a lunch. You're going to go down with a fight. Let's
So
have a
what I
hamburger in your
was
mouth.
saying, though, I just want to emphasize this. If my life depends on it, and I don't want to take any chances, because artificial baits work extremely well. As you know, we've made a career of it. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm not a believer. I'm a huge believer. But you put the survival part into this question. I have to survive. Yeah, I got to go with a little drop shot, and even if I don't have live bait as part of my kit, I will get my own live bait. I'll forage around every day, and I will dig up enough worms. I'll dig up enough June bugs. I'll dig up enough whatever.
You got 1 drop shot hook though.
No, I got a box of them.
No, he said 1 lure each.
No, yeah, it's one.
I got 1 spinner. You get one.
I get 1 hook and 1.
I think so.
Man,
if he gives us an endless amount, then that's even better. Then I don't give a shit about my leader. Then I'll get rid of the leader. But if it would be like, give me 3,000 spinners, maybe
I'm thinking, what do you braided line and steel leader and shit? You want to catch those little.
That's the only reason, because if I had 1 spinner, if I was only allowed 1, I want to keep that spinner because the pike's going to be taking it gone first shot. You know what I mean? That little spinner. But if I have an endless supply, no, hell no, that's gone. That's a whole different story. So,
all right. But hopefully we've answered your question.
I wanted to say jig, but I'd lose the jig on the bottom. I'd be pissed off. I say, shit, I got 1 jig gone. The first between the rocks, I'm done. So I didn't say the jig.
That's why I wanted drop shot as opposed to jigs. I want to have a chance. And by the way, I could probably rig up. I'm thinking about this. The most important element for me would have been that hook. So I do need a box of hooks.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the weight, the sinkers go, I could probably figure out
make
something natural to tie on, rocks and stuff. So there you go.
Hopefully, Darren, we got.
And I don't even need a rod now that I think of it. If I can sacrifice the rod for a box of hooks, I'm probably happy with that.
See you out there.
Absolutely, with a rock. If I tie a rock in the end, I could flick that baby out there, no problemo. There we go. Robbie G. Guthrow via Facebook.
Guthrow,
Robbie G. Guthrow via Facebook, Mr. Bowman.
2-parter, it looks like to me.
A 2-parter A, B. Now, they allowed, Dean?
I allowed it for him. I allowed it for Robbie.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Part A from Robbie. Robbie G. Guthrow, by the way. I get it. Most people won't watch an ice fishing show on a rerun in August.
Yep.
However, we crave the ice content. Put it on YouTube, do a podcast with Jay in the ice tent or one of those fancy trailers he uses. Just please say you'll get out and give us some ice content. Okay? Thank you, Robbie, for that. And be part of that. The good and honorable Joe Cermelli doesn't ship his merch to Canada.
Hello.
Joe.
Come on now.
What?
There's a bunch of bullshit.
Get him on the phone and strike a deal. I cut and retie tee and T-shirt, right? And a Fishing Canada tee in one shop one overpriced shipping cost and one overpriced shipping cost. I know that's not on you guys. Bring our countries together. Do snakeheads and walleye T-shirts. And his snakeheads and walleye.
Oh, you have a hard time reading.
I don't
that.
edit these anymore because you guys said you want to see them raw.
Do snakeheads versus walleye and the shirts, and then walleye versus snakeheads. So either one. I'm assuming that he wants the Fishing Canada one way and the
Picture of his
Joe
merch
Smelly.
is behind you. I think we could do a cool collab.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, I like that bowfin.
Yeah.
Is that a bowfin? I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. We could do a cool collab. Maybe we'll talk to Joe
we'll
about
talk
that.
to him.
That's a good. That's not a question, but it's a good.
Make a note, Dean. Make
It's
a
a
note.
good point.
All
Thanks, Robbie.
rise,
Robbie G.
the
Robbie G.
Honorable Nikolai.
Give me a hell yeah.
He
Hell
is
yeah.
in the room. Certainly hope we're not disturbing your peace and quiet on us.
Got a new haircut and a pack of smokes. Look at that.
Yeah.
And some cigars. Woohoo! Cohiba!
You know where his priorities are for tonight.
I kind of like that guy's attitude right now, to be honest with you.
Oh, here we go. Alan Valeriz.
I don't think we answered that question.
Oh,
We didn't answer.
yeah.
It was not a question. We
He
said we're going to
he
collab.
said we're going to do it.
We're going to try and
what
collab
about
with
the
Joe.
ice fishing part.
Oh, the ice
Oh,
fishing
yeah, let's go
part.
back
I
to
was
that.
avoiding that one, if at all possible. I
That's
know what we're
awesome.
going to do. I know what we're going to do.
Dean's a new guy, right?
Well, I know what we're going to do. We're going to send Vova out to Nipissing. Calendar Bay,
Be a good
Nipissing.
starter point for him.
In about I don't know, another couple of weeks when it's good, hard, frozen over, and we've got like minus 28 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to send him out with the camera and document some of that wonderful ice fishing.
Just
that
go
goes
around
on
to
there.
different
Just
huts,
go around
like
from
the
different
Calendar Bay
places
has
and
so
say-
many
Yeah,
bungalows
yeah.
and stuff like that, ice
And
bungalows.
we're going to have him go and knock on the doors of the huts and say, "Hey, Angelo and Pete are in the studio watching this right now. Say hi to them." And so we'll have all these guys say, "Hey, Angelo, Pete, how you doing?" We'll say yes, and you put it all together like a collage, Vova, and then I want you to put it up on YouTube. All right? See, he's okay.
That might not be bad.
I know. I
might
think
not be
it'd
a bad
great
idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Dean,
Dean,
gets the worst
Dean,
of
if
it.
you want to go with him on that, you can.
Okay.
Oh, Dean
I'll
will
join.
go. Dean, you
I know,
kidding me?
he'll love it.
Dean will go steal everybody's walleye right from under their holes there.
All right.
There you go, Robbie. Obviously, that might not happen, Robbie.
Elaine, well, you go with that. I don't know.
Hey, have you seen those trailers they're using lately?
Oh, the ones
Holy-
that drop down.
It's unreal. They're friggin'.
I could do
they're
that.
beautiful.
I could enjoy that.
Yeah, they're
so
beautiful.
if you can hook me up with one of those, I'm in.
Oh, get with one of those. That's no problem.
All right, I'm
That's
in.
no problem.
In fact, we should do that when we send these two guys out walking across
Calendar
the ice,
Bay,
in
you and I
Calendar
go up
Bay,
at
you and I will have
Lake
drive up.
Nipissing and beautiful trailers are out in Winnipeg there at Lake Winnipeg. Big old eyeballs. Yeah.
Elaine Valeriz via
Elaine.
Facebook. Now we met Elaine at Lodge 88.
Yeah, he and his wife were at Lodge 88.
I remember
This-
that.
this-
yes.
you do?
Yes.
This past trip?
Yes. They were sitting at the table.
The
right beside
two
us.
couples?
Exactly.
Which was LA?
Watch this. This is where I good politically speaking. The good-looking couple.
You shouldn't have said the couple. You should have just said the good-looking guy. Because
Okay,
now you've
good-looking
slagged
guy.
his wife,
No,
the other
good-looking.
wife. The other wife.
But
She's gonna
hopefully,
say,
they're not,
"Oh,
hopefully they're not listening. Hopefully, it's
I found them both
Elaine.
very ravishingly beautiful,
Oh my God.
if I can remember.
Oh yeah, I know why. Because they said they guessed your age at 40 or something. Did it?
That's right.
I remember
too.
that now.
That's the group? Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I love you, buddy.
Elaine says, "This is for both of you, so it must be answered separately and in truth. No bullshit.
There's a bunch of bullshit.
LOL."
I love it. He's a listener,
Yep.
obviously.
If you had one very last trip to make before you were too old, I don't know when that's. Of course, he's only 40, so it could be forever.
I might last. I'm going to be like that hairy mammoth thing there, saber-tooth monkey.
Where would you go back and why? Elaine wants to know. Where would you go back and why?
We've been there before.
But it must be this was a great question up until there. Because then he goes on and says, but it must be affordable to the average fisherman. A trip that was your most memorable in this country only, fly in, train in, or drive to, it doesn't matter. So
you
the
can fly,
problem
you
I
can
have
fly in.
is that there's too many variables there. First of all, What is affordable to the average fisherman? Do we have a benchmark? Is there an affordability meter that we can?
Well, I think, I mean, if you looked at, let's just take a couple of lodges here, like Northern Rockies Lodge. I don't think that's affordable to the average fisherman.
What is
right?
affordable to the
It's
average
such an exotic trip. It's expensive, and it's built to be that way, right? It's just a world-class trip that's expensive. So you got to take a lodge like that.
Hawk Lake is obviously off the table.
Yeah,
too.
that's not really affordable either.
Right.
Even Brayband, that's a pretty expensive lodge
we
too.
met Alain and his wife at Lodge 88. So I'm just wondering, is Lodge 88 in the affordability sector of
They
the
do that
meter?
every year.
Let's see. That's.
Would you say so?
I'd say that'd be a good.
Not for me.
No, but
I agree with Dean. I mean, if I'm looking at affordability, to me, like you got a $200 a day limit.
Okay.
Right?
So let's. Then we got to. Oh my God! This is
$200 a
been
day
so many
limit,
places.
which, quite frankly, unfortunately, and I mean this with all due respect to lodge owners out there, for like $200 a day, there's not much they can do with that. Okay, you can't be too proud of that. You can't work with that. You cannot give the comfort and amenities and all of the wonderful food and the wonderful new boats that are always pristine with the outboard motor that runs all the time with, you just can't. Like, you have to sacrifice something.
But would Pine Portage be in that?
They're
range?
probably
They're
in
not-
that $300 to $400 a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And why wouldn't they be with the food that they put up in that buffet every day?
As I'm thinking of the lake, KB Lake is it's a producer.
KB's got a
So
bunch of other lodges.
Agee's KB cabins. They
Yeah,
probably not because
that
they're
will-
not full. They're all inclusive. They're
other than
cabins.
the fly-in part, because you had to add that to the trip cost.
Well, he knows that if you say fly in, that's bringing the whole package up, right? Compared to a drive to. You have to. So I don't know.
I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do. I'm
Here's what you're
gonna before I let you take this and answer it your way. Here's what I'm gonna say. I would feel comfortable if we were using Lodge 88 as our base and say that it is affordable, because you don't have to fly into Lodge 88. You can train in.
Yep.
Right? There's a wonderful train
Yes, that's
opportunity,
correct.
which is like super
That
cheap.
drops the price down for sure.
I would say that my comfort zone for the average person. Now, it's you're not going to do it every year. It's once every 3 or 4 years.
It says
obviously.
here, though, too, like the question is about if you were too old and this was going to be your last one, basically. So you're not really thinking affordability at that point.
No, it throws a real wrench into that question, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
there's
really
just so
does.
many variables here. Lodge 88 would be my place that I've always felt comfortable sending folks to Dave McLaughlin and Terry that own and run that place. I've always felt comfortable sending people there because it truly is a wonderful experience. Like, you would have to work so hard at not having a wonderful experience at Lodge 88 that I feel comfortable. See, here's my problem. When I recommend places to people, I know I take that responsibility very serious, because I know that these folks are counting on our experiences to lead them to the right place, right? And at Lodge 88, I know that I can send people there anytime. And I know they're going to write back to us and say, guys, I just came back and it was everything that you said it was going to be, and then some. The fishing was outstanding. I caught my biggest, I've never seen a 10-pound walleye or a huge pike. And I went into Rock Lake, and the speckled trout fishing was like all, I know it's going to happen, right?
Yep.
It's a little bit more expensive than the average place.
Well,
So I'm gonna be-
Alan knows how much it is.
Well, yeah, exactly. If
He wrote
he's
the
saying
question.
that that's the place, that's the benchmark, then you're hard pressed to find that experience at that price in a whole lot of other areas. Even though there are some great operations out there, some great places, finding that kind of consistency at that price is pretty hard.
Oh,
I have to be honest.
yeah, 100% for sure. I don't even know where another one.
That's
One
comparable.
that comes to mind, and I'm thinking more of the fishing. I like Brace Lake too. Brace Lake Outfitters. I like them. I like the big pike that are available right in front of the lodge. I do like that.
Yeah, we've got some nice
and
pike
I've
there.
always wanted to go back to that main lodge, main lake area, and just not even think about walleye. Just concentrate on
focus.
those big pike, because I think if you got onto that deal with your live scope, et cetera, I think you'd have a hell of a good trip. So, I mean, Alan, this is a question that Ange and I literally have to look at every lodge that we've been to and say, oh, because we're forgetting stuff. I guarantee you, we're forgetting all kinds of trips. Remember the fishing there was incredible for the price. So, so those would be two off the cuff places, maybe something like that. But yeah, it's a tough question. Now, if you said the sky's the limit, then I would say either Brabant or the Northern Rockies Lodge would be the two that I'd say.
And something else we take into account here too is, if a lodge hits all of the right marks in terms of affordability and creature comforts and food, we also take into account the fishability of the water. What I mean by that is it's inevitable. It's inevitable. You waited all your life to go on a trip and you get there and the weather is just crap. The wind's blowing from the northeast the whole time you're there, and it just makes it unfishable. That's part of the decision-making process that we go through when we're recommending places. Lakes that afford you the opportunity to be fishable every day because of the geography and because of where the fish are. And I'll go back to Lodge 88 once again. For the most part, I can't even imagine how bad it would have to be not to be able to find fishable water
to get out,
on Isnagi.
You have to be going right down that chute, and even then, you just stick it up, go up a little
Exactly,
bit north, and then turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's always fishable water right there.
Another one I said that Brabant and Northern Rockies Lodge for the sky's the limit. One that's a little closer to us right here, and Anne's already mentioned it, is Hawk Lake Lodge because of just what he said there. You can get out anywhere. That lake is not a big lake. It's a nice sized lake, and Ted's got a ton of out lakes that you can go to if the lake was too rough. So, but that's sky's the limit. Those are expensive.
Same as Will's place.
Yeah.
Right? That's the other thing about.
That's a great trip right there.
Right?
See what I mean? We're just going boom, boom. We got 1,000 of those that we could probably think of.
Because it's fishable in the sense that if the wind is blowing coming down the chute and you can't get out on the main lake, you just trailer your boat someplace else and you'll catch fish. So places like that come to mind.
I mean, it's areas, Algoma or Northwest Ontario. Anything. If you take an area, those are two fantastic areas that you can't really go wrong in. And you could find something that you're looking for in those two areas, just to par it down to what you want then. But
out of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes.
No, I can't do that to you.
Oh,
I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
I take that back.
I appreciate
I
that.
take that back.
You throw me under the bus there. I kind of
I
feeling
was almost
because
tempted
of
that I'm
where's
not.
that big bus that we saw with the polar bear?
I know
Pete
how
was
easy,
under the tire.
I know how easy it is to push you out the door under the bus. So yes, I said, no, I won't do that.
No parachute for Petey.
No, there's lots of places. We're using those because they just come to mind, and we've been at them recently, and it's easier for us to do that than try and dig into this old archive of places. We've been to so many wonderful places. So many wonderful places. Next question. Wendy Horn via Facebook.
Lots of Facebook questions coming in, eh?
Why doesn't anyone want a real relationship anymore? Well, Wendy.
What the hell is that?
Wendy, I have to tell you.
Wendy.
Does she say where she... No, just Wendy Horn.
Facebook. Is that a real question, Dean?
Yeah, we had a post that said that they didn't have to ask you anything about the show or about fishing. They said you can ask Angelo and Pete anything.
Okay, well, I like
this
that.
is.
This is good.
First of all, I'm curious, because she puts any more, meaning that at some point people did want a real relationship.
Well,
so this is, in her opinion, this is something like recent.
You guys are both married.
Yes,
Yeah,
happily for many years.
I
The
think she's
Countess
right.
of Sandostache and I have been.
I think she's
a
right.
wonderful
I mean, I think because Because back in the day, back in our day, we're not young, that's for sure. It was about real relationships, really. It was about, you're trying to find that long
That's an
lasting.
AI.
How you doing?
That's an
Jeez.
AI relationship. I got.
I was going to say, I'd go out with either of those. I don't care.
They're both fake.
Pretty handsome package there.
Why do you want a real relationship?
That's, we're the wrong guys to ask that because we
Yeah.
don't know. But I'll tell you what, we have some young single dudes here around us that we could probably. Like Dean has a microphone right now. Is there anything to this that you could say?
No,
state?
not for this show.
What state ye? No.
No, you can get a hold of me after hours. I'll talk to you about relationships.
Okay. Dean's
not for
an
this
after
program.
hours guy. He's kind of like Dr. Ruth or whatever.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, he does private sessions only.
Yeah.
And
What a real relationship
Wendy Horn, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Sorry about that, Wendy. We can't. We'll give you Dean's personal info. You can give him a shot.
Right to Dr. Dean, he'll straighten you out.
Dr.
For sure.
Dean.
Or Dr. Volvo would probably be of some assistance in that area too.
And Dr. Nick too.
Yeah, they're all of
If Nick
them.
was here, he'd probably take a shot at it.
Oh, he'd take a shot at it for sure. Not much he won't take a shot at it.
Woo! There you go, Wendy. Give Nick a call. God.
Mike McClarney from Michigan. Hey, our southern neighbors.
Via email. There you go.
Email. Mike McClarney, do you like lithium batteries enough to justify the cost? And that's a
Wow.
really good
It's a
question.
fantastic question.
The only I do have to say they are getting lower and lower. They're getting more and more affordable. But Pete and I were just talking about lithium batteries the other day because we've got a new boat. One of our new boats is going that's sold, and another one's coming in. So we're trying to go over what we're going to do for the new one and in terms of batteries and stuff. And when it came to batteries, we both said, "Yeah, we got to have lithium in that one as well," because. And we haven't used, I think we've had lithiums on our boats now for the last, I'd say, 5 years.
Yeah, I'd say so, for sure.
And
For
they
sure.
are just, you put them in, you can lock up the compartment and just not worry about it. Mm-hmm. They are that good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the biggest reason we put them in to start with was the weight factor. So a lot of people don't take into account that weight, and it's not about speed, it's about performance. And performance and speed are not necessarily the same thing. But if you lighten the load on your boat, I know some of you out there that have got 4 and 5 acid-based or lead-based batteries in your boat, and each one of them's got to weigh
Close
30?
to 60. No, 50 to 60 pounds
50
nowadays.
to 60 pounds.
For a good one, heavy duty 27s.
50 to
like that.
60 pounds. Let's call it 50. And you have 6 of them in the boat, which some people do. Wow, that's 300 pounds. That's like a person and a half to start with before you put any other weight in the boat. So by jettisoning that weight, the performance of the hull is going to increase exponentially. And that increase will show up at the gas pump. That's
sure it
the
will.
thing
That's
that
part
most
of
of
it,
us
yeah.
don't even think about.
Your whole shot is going to, everything.
Everything. Less throttle when you're running. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that
I'll tell you, Mike, coming from a couple of years ago, maybe last year, whatever, 2 years ago now, my old deep cycles went on my personal boat, and I had lead acid in them, and I always ran lead acid. And I said, no, I am gonna buy a couple of lithium. So I went and bought a couple of lithium. I looked into all the companies and found one from Canada, because if you're buying some of these Chinese batteries, you need to be really careful. There's some that are out there that are not real good, and I bought a couple of trolling motor batteries, and I put them on my boat, and it's the best thing I've bought for my boat in a long time.
you go.
They hold their power for days, not just a day or a day and a half, for friggin' days. They last until they're dead, so you don't have this slow drop down in power and they get weaker and weaker and weaker. They're just there, and they're done. You have, nowadays, almost all of them have a Bluetooth capacity, so you can see the charge on them. So you can say, oh my God, I'm at 86%. I went all day long and I'm still at 86%. You got 2 more days of fishing on them. There's so many pluses to them. And like Ann said, the weight factor is huge in that one.
Crazy.
But I think the efficiency of them alone is it is worth the money. And if you shop around, you can find, you get them for a decent price nowadays. I'm not saying they're cheap. You're probably going to be spending $500 per per battery for 12-volt battery. You know, if you have a 24, you got to buy 2 of them. And I got a feeling that these things are going to last a lot longer than lead acid. Those lead acid, and then we always like to buy cheaper ones if we can too, right? They last a couple of years, maybe at most. These things are guaranteed.
Well,
a lot of them say they have a 10-year guarantee
They
on
have a
them.
10-year cycle.
Think
So
about
if
that.
you think of it in terms of 10 years, whether it's a 10-year warranty or just 10-year cycle, let's assume for a moment that it's not a warranty, but they do last from 8 to 10 years. You'd probably be replacing them at least twice, maybe a third time.
Yeah.
If
Well,
they
the
were
ones you
just a
said
regular
we've been
lead.
running for 5 years. We still got some of the original batteries in your boat.
Yeah.
And they're perfect. They
They're
run
perfect.
perfect
Yeah.
to this day. So the efficiency
So-
level is unreal.
Because even a regular cheap battery is $120.
Yep.
Right. No matter how you look at it.
That's a
So you-
cheapie, yeah.
Right. So you're still looking at $400 or $500 for conventional batteries over the course of a 10-year period, where you can put one in. Never mind the savings in energy because of the performance of the hull, but just in the purchasing of the units themselves, the difference is phenomenal. So
And if we're talking about on the ice as well, I'll just add there, you have to do it.
You have to.
I
It's a
converted
must.
last year. I probably went through 12 of like the little like the lead batteries before I converted.
Yeah.
Now I run I'll run a live scope for 8 hours a day or more, and it'll be like halfway down on a lithium battery.
Yeah.
On a lead acid, I'd be carrying like 4 batteries with me. on
There
a
you
day.
go.
So it's
They're
a
so
huge
everywhere.
saver.
So there you have 3 different people who use them, and they're expensive. There's no, but they're expensive because your cost is up front, as opposed to over the long haul.
Exactly.
If I said to you that it was going to cost you $500, $600 for the next 10 years in lead batteries versus $600 today, you'd probably say, "Well, hell yeah, I'm going to buy it today."
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
They're very good, Mike. They are worth the money. They really are.
And they're a treat to lift in and out from the store into the boat.
Yeah.
That's the beauty.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyle Benning from Iowa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's 2 U.S. back-to-back, Dean.
That's just a coincidence.
Wow, you put your arm in there and you pull those things out. Now, who would have thunk that?
Yeah.
And email as well, from Facebook to email. Aha.
I'm always blown away how different the color patterns on the same fish species can look from one body of water to another.
Good, yeah. Good
Walleye
point.
colors seem to vary greatly, but northern pike may take the cake.
It's interesting.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
He's blown away by the different color patterns of the same fish.
So he goes on to say, the pike in my area typically have silverish sides with yellow spots, along with the occasional true silver pike strain, if you're lucky. But pike coloration I've caught from other areas vary from greenish sides to downright brown.
I have a picture of 2 examples behind you.
Oh,
No,
thank
it's
you.
not
Oh,
the
that
best
is-
picture.
wow.
But that's a pretty good contrast there.
You got that right.
Yeah, now look at the spotting on the tail
Yeah,
of that
it's
silver
weird.
one. Eh?
What the?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
bizarre.
So,
That is
so
bizarre.
you got the same here, but from here up.
Yeah.
So are these fish truly different strains, is what he goes on to ask, or are the color differences purely the result of natural camo based upon the water clarity and soil type of the waters that they call home? I think all of the above, and we forgot one very important element, and that is the food. Whatever they're feeding on has a lot to do with their coloration as well.
That's
There's
a
3
good
items
point. That's
there.
a good point. Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that coloration doesn't vary from season to season in some cases, and also the state that the fish is in.
In a
has
lot of
to do
cases,
with
yeah,
it,
that's the case.
right? The state that fish in. If it's in, take smallmouth bass for example. You can
Perfect
go
example.
from dark to light, to from stripes, no stripes, from green to gold to
The
orange.
gender of them matters a lot too. Like brook trout.
Well, they're
completely different.
well, yeah, that's a whole other
Yeah.
ball game, right?
Yeah, true enough. When it comes spawning season, yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like I've seen this exact, like the bottom pike in this picture. If you're just listening, it's a typical pike in the greenish yellow with the greenish yellow spots and all that. The very typical pike that most people catch. But the top, the fish in this picture, is that silver color that he's talking about. And we've seen a few of them like that, right? Not a lot,
Not many.
but a few of them.
many.
But as far as if we're going pike, well, in Northwest Territories. We got a lot of pike on that trip. They look pretty similar, did they not? In that the skin tones, even from the big ones to the small
they
ones.
were all
I mean, the big ones
close.
maybe a little more muted. Maybe that might be because of age, whatever, compared to the
beat
small
up.
ones. Yeah, beat up maybe a little bit too. But I find pike to be quite similar as a rule.
I've always thought they were pretty clone-ish as well.
Yeah,
right?
so
Obviously
like
he's
maybe
not.
from
He's
where
making
he is, maybe he's got some different lakes that have
And
like you said,
where's
the water
he?
quality.
He's in Iowa.
Iowa. See, maybe that's something that's.
He's talking a lot about silverish colored pike, so maybe he's got a lot of those there, which makes it,
Which
downright brown.
I have heard. We talked to a biologist. I think when we were at Nordic Point, that they can only reproduce with each other. So
That's right,
So
yeah.
they are actually. I think they will reclassify it as a new species,
substrain or something.
because they can't spawn like with anything outside
Why?
the population.
Why is that?
I think they've genetically varied enough now where they can't successfully reproduce with a normal pike, and that is like
I
the
thought-
technical. That is the definition of a
Wow.
new species.
I wonder.
I thought
go
maybe
ahead.
they wouldn't be attracted to each
That
other
could be
if
it
they're not
too,
the same.
yeah.
Speaking, and I was going to say, speaking about attraction,
Attractive. There you
the
go.
lovely
It's-
countess just walked through the room.
Now,
It's-
wonder now. Here you go. Could these silver pike then spawn with a muskie to be a tiger, like a silver tiger muskie or something like that?
holy
You know what I mean? Because regular pike can spawn with muskie, depending on the male-female relationship. Obviously, I think one or the other. I don't know how it works.
So how does this work?
Because what I want to say is, like, if it can't spawn with a pike, but it can with a muskie, that would be really
would be bizarre, though.
That would be like insane.
Why would nature allow that?
I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, we need a biologist on this one for sure.
Yeah.
This is biology 101 for sure.
So nature just, I guess it's a safety valve, I guess, because think about it. If all species of fish in any body of water could just intermingle and breed with each other, we would lose the wonderful uniqueness of each species.
Yeah, you'd build a cool new one, but you do so.
Well,
yeah.
you build a whole bunch of different new ones. It wouldn't be a cool new one. It would be a whole plethora of new ones.
Like,
Every week you catch a fish.
mean-mouthed bass or splake or something like that. Like
By
those
the way, I was listening to, I'm sorry to get off topic, but I have to bring this up. So I was reviewing one of the Roland Martin episodes. And he says
freshwater,
that
freshwater, something black bass. Freshwater, freshmouth, large water bass or something. Yeah,
black bass.
He says
Freshmouth, large water, black bass.
That is apparently a little shtick that Roland and some of his buddies had made up a while back, and they literally try to say that. That's what they call him now.
Well,
It's
he's
not his
saying it
mistake.
more often now
Oh
on
yeah,
the show.
that Jimmy Houston show. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the first time Rick, the editor, Rick Delishny, said to me, "Hey, listen, should I fix this up?" Obviously, Roland screwed up. I said, "Hell yeah, of course you got to fix it up."
I remember that the first time we heard
And
it.
so he fixed it all up so it sounded real. But then I realized he does it all the time now.
does
So
it.
it's, anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I digress.
Well, that's the mixed species you're talking about, right? Kind of.
But that's how nature looks after things, right?
Yeah.
She makes sure that everybody stays between the lines, right?
Birds,
in their own lane.
ducks, same
Birds,
thing.
ducks,
They never intermingle.
like a crow with a cardinal. Like, why couldn't that happen?
Red-headed crow.
Well, that's the definition of a species, pretty much. Once you stop being able to reproduce with,
So is it right?
thing.
Is it right? Should we frown upon maybe what Pete said?
bestiality,
Yeah.
yeah, we should frown upon that.
Okay. I just thought I'd bring that up.
You just heard the two personalities of Dean and Angelo right there, folks. You dig into that one. Take it how you
I just
want.
wanted to bring that up because I find that fascinating. So why wouldn't that fish
Angelo.
spawn with that fish?
They
I
could
know,
try.
it's-
They could try. It just wouldn't
There's
work.
some weird-ass shit going on there,
They could do it every day. Just no results.
Anyways, I don't know whether we've answered your question or not. Kyle Benning from Iowa. Hopefully we haven't. Thank you very much for sending that in to us, by the way.
Yeah, because it kind of does. We brought that conversation up right there of the silver to regular pike. That's cool.
Whew, I'm wore out, buddy. I don't
You
know.
don't want to
what
do any
you-
more? That's good.
No,
Good.
I'm done. I
enough
do
Christmas questions?
want to tell folks though that this is the last chance. The last chance.
This the last chance for love. Isn't there a song with that last chance?
Well, that's a nice little tie into what we were just talking about. I like that. Last chance to enter into the wonderful Mercury 9.9 outboard motor that's up for grabs. Like we're talking,
Give me a hell yeah.
we're talking like within days of this podcast.
Minutes.
I'm sorry?
Within minutes.
Within minutes.
If you're hearing this right away, it's 5 a.m. on the 19th.
Okay.
And the draw is at 3 p.m. on the 19th.
Holy moly.
So last chance to get these bonus entries in.
Wow. Then given the bonus question.
This is
the bonus,
This is 10 gifts to you, the listener, the avid listener that's on the ball and listened this morning or early afternoon. The bonus code for this is present. All capitals, PRESENT. Present, and that's our present to you.
A present to win the 9.9 Mercury Marine outboard motor, brought to you by the folks at J&B Cycle and Marine. A big hand for those guys.
Give me a hell yeah.
Ontario's largest Princecraft Mercury dealer. They've been customer driven since 1970, Mr. Bowman. They're even older than we are, for God's sake.
If I was 40, then that's older than me.
Outboard motors, full boat motor, trailer packages, you name it, fun-oriented Princecraft pontoon boats, deck boats. They've got them all. They'll even lease you one of these beauties for your cottage if you talk to them nice. Yeah, you don't even have to buy them anymore. You can just,
That's a
Rob
deal.
and the boys will write up a lease for you. They'll drop it off at your cottage. They'll pick it up at the end of the season. They even fill the tank with gas for you.
Once. That's pretty good, though.
Damn right. J&B Cycle and Marine. So get on over to fishingcanada.com and enter into contest for your 9.9 Mercury motor. What are you leaning over there, Dean? What are you doing?
I changed my buttons because I
Farting.
have a Christmas board.
He's leaning into one. Or leaning out of one.
I was hoping to outro the show with some Christmas.
Well,
music.
I just want one more little note. Because of this being such a special program, and because we have given away thousands of dollars worth of prizes this year, and we'll continue to give away next year.
Look at us,
and it is the season for giving, folks. So
Tis, yes.
don't think that this is going against that principle. But
what's he going to say, Dean?
I'd like to ask for a little something from all you folks, if we possibly could.
A present to us.
If there is a possibility, and more importantly for you folks who are watching this on YouTube, because you've got the added benefit of this wonderful wardrobe that we went to great lengths to.
God, it's a costly thing to the company right there.
Exactly.
I got a thread hanging.
All we would like for Christmas from you, for all of you right now that are not current subscribers to our YouTube channel, and I know it's a bit of a pain in the butt. You got to go in and push some buttons and crap. Listen,
A button. Just A button.
It's just A button?
A button.
All right, somewhere on the screen right now, as you're listening to this on YouTube, there is a button, and it's marked subscribe. There's no charge. It's not like you got to fill in any forms. It's not like we're going to, obligate you to anything other than you will be notified when we have a new podcast up, much like this one, because only the ones who had notification will be able to act on the giveaway.
Hello.
That's over at 3 o'clock today because they were subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, I would like to reach out and appeal to you to maybe make that our little Christmas gift this year.
Oh, that's nice. That would be a nice gift.
Just subscribe.
It's one of those gifts
Move
you really
the needle.
want. Yeah.
Move it. I know it's hard, but do it for us.
You got to move it. You got to move it.
On that note, I'm going to have to say adieu to all of you on behalf of the entire Outdoor Journal Radio crew. Vova, as usual. Nick, back from his haircut and stuff.
We had a good question for you, Nick, but it's too late now.
Oh, it was right up your... You missed your opportunity, kid.
It was a good one.
I'm telling you. And, of course, our producer, Dean Taylor, in the lovely Santa Claus toque. I want to see you wearing that at the Christmas party tonight, my friend.
I'll have it.
He is Peter Bowman. I'm Angelo Viola. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. We'll see you on the other side.
Oh my God.
This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio has been brought to you in part by The Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. J&B Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.